Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The coronavirus has claimed more lives in the United States than the attacks of September 11th. The list of COVID-19 deaths spiked by more than 800 today and now totals more than 3,700. CBS's Elise Preston reports from New York.
As the death toll rises, efforts to contain the coronavirus are intensifying.
We underestimated this virus. It's more powerful, it's more dangerous than we expected.
More people have now died of COVID-19 in the U.S. than in China, where the outbreak emerged late last year.
We're living in and through an all-hands-on-deck moment, if I've ever seen one in my lifetime.
Cities, states, and towns across the country are gearing up for an anticipated surge of critically ill patients.
This coming Sunday, April 5th, is a demarcation line. This is the point at which we must be prepared for next week, when we expect a huge increase in the number of cases.
New York is the epicenter of the crisis in the U.S., but experts say no state will be spared.
We need you to heed this call for you to stay home for 2 weeks. Lives are depending on it.
In some states, officials are still trying to keep the coronavirus out of their communities.
The number of out-of-state travelers is creating the issue because some of them are coming from hot spots that we want to be able to limit and restrict.
Late Monday, the White House Pandemic Task Force gave its latest projected mortality numbers, estimating that more than 100,000 Americans could die, despite the steps currently being taken to mitigate its spread. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
The Centers for Disease Control is considering whether it should advise all Americans to wear a mask or other face covering when out in public. Back in Kentucky, the Bluegrass State saw its biggest one-day increase in coronavirus cases. Governor Andy Beshear announced 114 new cases and 7 new deaths. Kentucky now has at least 594 cases and 18 deaths. The majority of those are within the Golden Triangle, which is the area between Lexington, Louisville, and Cincinnati. This map shows all the counties in Kentucky with confirmed cases. One new county in particular that may stick out to some of us here in eastern Kentucky is Perry County. Shortly after Governor Beshear's news conference ended, Perry County reported its first COVID-19 case. During a news conference tonight at Hazard City Hall, the Kentucky River District Health Department says a 79-year-old man tested positive for the virus.
We knew that this was going to happen. We knew that we would have a positive here in Kentucky River, and we knew that this would go throughout our district, as it is pretty much every county throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Those officials could not give out any more details about that person infected. Perry County officials also announced an executive order restricting one person per family allowed in public areas such as grocery stores. As temperatures start warming up, some folks worry if mosquitoes can spread COVID-19. Experts say as far as they know, mosquitoes do not spread the virus. Now, that does not mean you should not be careful with the flying pests. Kentucky is an ideal habitat for mosquitoes. They are semi-aquatic, and it's, of course, already been a very wet year in the bluegrass.
So people do need to be concerned. There are other issues that can come up that we shouldn't forget about just because of the coronavirus. West Nile virus is, of course, one. With mosquitoes, we saw an encephalitis outbreak in some northern states last year with mosquitoes.
So as temperatures warm up, make sure not to leave standing water near your home and grab some insect repellent as you head outside. Across the country, as we work to slow the spread of COVID-19, there's another fight going on, one we probably can't see right now, the fight to keep those in addiction recovering. WYMT's Connor James talked with some experts in the field about why now more than ever it is important for those in recovery to stay connected.
We're treating an epidemic inside of a pandemic.
Behind closed doors, some people are fighting one of the toughest battles those recovering from substance abuse face: isolation.
Addiction is the opposite of connection.
Matt Brown is the chief of staff for addiction recovery care in Lawrence County.
Because when you're in active addiction, you're actually isolating yourself from people, especially those that love you the most and want to help you.
This May, Matt will celebrate 6 years clean after his own 18-year battle with addiction.
Well, the disease of addiction feeds off of isolation. It thrives in isolation.
Albert and Becky Kilburn are both in recovery too. Becky is now the director of an intensive outpatient program for people with substance abuse.
3 face-to-face contacts per week with the clients. It's intensive.
The National Institute on Drug Abuse shows that in 2018, roughly 67,000 people died from an overdose. On average, that's about 184 people a day. American Addiction Centers say that of all Americans over 12 years old, 19.7 million of them said they had a substance abuse disorder in 2017. Staying connected through AA and NA meetings is crucial to staying clean, which is why there is a massive push to telehealth. Groups like ARC are pushing those services.
In theory, I could be by myself, but still be very connected to people. So I want to encourage people to use online resources.
And for those who are struggling, staying sober during this time,
don't isolate by yourself and get in your head, get with somebody.
Many who have already fought addiction say you're not alone. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, we do have links to multiple resources online for those who may be in recovery. Just look for this story on our website, WYMT.com.
Well, it was a pretty gloomy and soggy day here in the mountains. We're starting to see the rain get out of here, but we'll hang on to those gloomy conditions as we head into tonight. Looking at our UVA WISE camera, you can see even some fog starting to build up, especially in those low-lying areas. So if you are still headed out, maybe tomorrow morning, just take it easy out there on the roads. Looking along Interstate 75 into Mount Vernon, very quiet, but once again, those roads looking a little bit slick as we head into the overnight hours. But pinpoint Doppler, I think we're seeing at least most of the showers get out of here. Maybe a stray chance here and there, but really start to dry out as we head into tomorrow. But those temperatures pretty chilly out there, especially compared to what we have been the past few weeks. Upper 30s to lower 40s, and as we head into tonight, we'll really be dropping into about the mid to upper 30s. We'll still hang on to a few scattered chances, but most of those definitely have moved out of here for tonight. So we'll hang on to a few chances for tomorrow. We dry out for 3 days in a row before we bring back a few more scattered rain chances by Sunday. I'll have the rest of your forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. As schools are shifting to online education, students are adjusting to a lot, especially as sports seasons are taken away, proms are being canceled, and graduation is up in the air. Floyd County Schools has created a counseling hotline to help students that may have anxiety during this time. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked to one of the counselors.
As questions loom for students across the country, Floyd County Schools wanted their students to have someone to talk to.
We're here for you. We're all in this together, and we're here for you.
As messages to school counselors poured in, they decided to create a counseling hotline.
They'll be greeted with a friendly voice and hopefully a familiar voice.
Knowing it's a trying time, and counselors do not want students going through it alone.
They had a concern that they really wanted to be able to stay in contact with their students a little easier. And not just students, but parents. And, right now we have all of our staff, even our counselors that are calling throughout the day, checking on students individually.
Counselor Nikki Queen Gillum says many of the kids are just uncertain as to what is going to happen.
Reassure them, that things are going to be okay, and we just have to kind of follow what the guidelines have been set for us with the people that know what's going on with the situation.
Sometimes just needing someone to listen.
Kids are really resilient, and they, if you talk to them and just let them get their feelings out, most of the time they feel a lot better.
7 counselors and 2 psychologists are readily available.
When you call the hotline, you can choose the school that you talk to, or you can choose just random, anyone that is available at the time.
Trying to give students a little peace of mind in the uncertainty. In Floyd County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
That hotline is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. The number is 606-886-4546. As the governor continues to push the Team Kentucky Fund, one is also in progress for those in parts of eastern Kentucky specifically. It's called Team Hazard Perry. The fund is a brainchild of Hazard Mayor Happy Mobilini and County Judge Executive Scott Alexander. It will help out workers and small business owners who are either laid off or struggling to get by during this coronavirus pandemic.
Small business is in trouble. The volume of people coming in, even to those that's left open, that's considered essential, they're seeing their traffic down. The restaurants on the carryouts only, they're seeing their total sales way down.
Now this is for anyone who is employed in Perry County, even if you live somewhere else. One Williamsburg dance studio is continuing its classes online. After COVID-19 caused most people to stay in their homes, the dance center in Williamsburg started having dance classes together through video chats. While they are apart right now, owner Lindsay Baker and her students are thankful to still be able to see each other every week.
We do like virtual high fives and send each other hearts and, blow kisses and all of that. So we're still trying to share the love even if we're, not together in person right now.
The Dance Center also has a free book reading on Facebook each day as well. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a new study points to common threads between people with the most severe coronavirus cases.
And rain chances move out tonight, but gloomy weather sticks around tomorrow. But when does sunshine return? I'll have that answer coming up.